let's play some Gwent. Even though theoretically you are broke right now.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
We'll bet 5 on this. Okay, and again, keep on checking Scoia'tael, but I think we're still waiting on just a few more good cards to round out that deck before we end up using it. And how did we do with this hand that we just drew? Decoy can be good. A few siege experts, that means we're going to want other siege stuff in here. A couple Blue Stripes Commandos, that is good to see. Do have a couple more siege units, so that's also good. Spy. Biting Frost is maybe not great here, because we do have at least some melee that we're going to want to use. So if we could say Biting Frost when we play Spy on the other side, then that could be useful. So maybe that's worth holding on to. We don't necessarily have good pair for the decoy then, unless our opponent plays a Spy. And our opponent is going Nilfgaard. So, I don't know. Kira, you're not really inspiring me too much here. Trebuchet is better. Higher power and also siege unit that we're going to get boosted with the siege experts and going to double using our leader ability, so that is preferable. But, anything else? Not sure I dare swap anything out other than maybe Biting Frost or Decoy. Let's try Biting Frost, and we got another siege expert. Wow, we have a ton in the siege row. And we do go first? This is a tough one, then. I think, yeah, because we have what I would think would be nearly an automatic win whenever we choose to play all of our siege units and double that with our leader ability. The question is, do we have enough outside of that to win with doubling up the, or well, at least having 2 of these guys played in the melee row, so they each become 8s. That's for 16 total there, but that's not a lot. So I think maybe we go for the siege win this time round, and we might even have time to sneak in our spy as well. Then we hopefully win the round, otherwise we're in big trouble. And when we do, we hope that that additional card that we draw gives us enough firepower to win one more round to pair up with these guys. So, first things first, siege. We'll start small in case our opponent has a Scorch. And they're playing a Spy, which is interesting. That's a really strong Spy in a bad way. Like, it gave us 7 strength, that's a ton. So, do we want to counter with our own Spy? Because, I mean, again, whenever our opponent plays a Spy, it kind of implies that they're intending to lose the round just to draw more cards for future rounds. We might already win this without having to invest too much. Maybe we play our own Spy? Let's give it a shot. Our Spy is better. We, drew another siege unit, as well as Impenetrable Fog, which nerfs range, which doesn't affect us at all right now, because we don't have any range cards, but our opponent might end up playing some, so yeah, that's not bad. Our opponent did play more units, so that would suggest that we will probably want to keep on playing further. Or did we draw another siege expert? Did we already have 3? I don't know, we have so many siege experts. Okay. Yeah, it does seem like our opponent is going pretty hard on the melee row. We could even use the decoy to steal our opponent's spy, like I was saying. This is not a very good spy. Giving 7 strength to your opponent is a lot. So I'm hesitant to do that, but it's potentially an option. This is kind of weird having all those siege experts out there. Okay, so we could nerf the range row right now, and it would make a difference. Would nerf that card that they just played. There's something to that. Of course, these siege experts are most valuable when they're boosting even more cards, and just a question of, will we actually need to go that far, or would that be overkill? Let's play the range nerf first. See if our opponent says that's enough. They keep on going. Winning by 1. Except we can't really go with a small little incremental upgrade. We need to go with a pretty big one. Ooh, okay, so that does remove one of our cards. It was the Scorch that got rid of the strongest card. Unfortunately, we didn't jump straight into our best of our siege units, so lucked out a bit there. But we'll just keep on playing more, and I assume they don't have multiple Scorches? Okay, and that is a unit in the range row. However, it is a hero, and therefore it does not get affected by the range nerf. But they're going pretty hard here. And that is their leader ability that allows us to look at cards in our hand, which again is not super clear as to how exactly that works for a computer, but okay. So we could swipe their spy here, and then we would be tied. Is interesting as to whether or not that's worth it or not. Otherwise, we play our last of our siege units, or we double up the siege row. And, that's tough. If we double, then obviously we're going to be way more powerful than we currently are, and it's very likely that our opponent will just pass and say, forget it, we lost. So maybe we inch forward a little bit. Does mean that we won't have any additional siege units for the next round, so our opponent does continue to play. That is probably what we wanted to see, because we're not expecting them to be able to keep up with us. Let's do this. Steal the spy, yes. Will our opponent continue playing cards? Yes, very much so. That is a 10 strength unit, but it does get nerfed because it is not a hero. So just reduced to 1. That is fantastic for us. And eventually we will end up playing the, presumably, the leader ability to double the siege row, but we could even sneak in the spy here and still be in the lead with drawing 2 more cards, and we get a siege card. So our opponent passes here, which means we could get by without having to use our leader ability, which for a moment seemed like that would not be terribly relevant because we just played all of our siege cards, but we were lucky enough to draw into a siege card, and when we win this round, we will draw another, so there's a chance we get a siege card there. So we still get some value out of it there. So I think that is going to be great for us. Yeah, let's pass here. Of course, we could have gone with a crazy amount of overkill if we had opted to play the leader ability there. We did get a commander's horn, which means we could double the melee row, which would mean doubling these guys, which is not bad at all. We do have a Scorch, though. Let's bear that in mind. We don't want to play 2 strong cards yet. Ideally, we would say allow our opponent to play strong cards first, and what are they going to bring back here? A spy. Ooh, the Scorch would remove him. We don't want that to happen. So, this is a little bit tricky. It would take a while for our opponent to play a card that is stronger than any that we have out here, presumably, unless they just drop a 10 strength unit, which apparently they do have some of those, even ones that aren't heroes. What I'm thinking is we maybe use our leader ability in the siege row, and obviously it doesn't do anything immediately. Hope there is that it buys some more time for our opponent to play a really strong unit like this, but I don't think Scorch is going to work against that guy, because he is a hero. He brought back another spy. Ooh, yikes. I mean, on one hand, yes, it's giving us a lot of power, but on the other hand, you're drawing a bunch of cards now. So, if we were to play just about anything, then we would just continue to have the strongest card again. I'm assuming that this guy does not count. But if we play this guy, then we have both of these guys being 8 strength, and they are likely the ones to get deleted in that case, so that's bad. If we play this, then this goes up to 12 strength, and that gets deleted, in which case, also bad. If we play this, then we double everyone here, and then our spy becomes 14 strength, and that gets deleted. That's bad. So we could Scorch now, and lose either our 7 strength spy, or maybe delete their 10 strength hero, but I doubt that. I think the answer is just that we're not going to end up playing the Scorch card at all. So we'll double here, I think, in that case. Puts the spy at most immediate risk if our opponent does have a Scorch. Oh, don't like that. Oh, nerfing the melee row. Yeah, we've definitely lost, because their hero is immune to it, because it's a hero. These guys get... Oh, hold on. Dumbed down to 2. Yes. Man, even now, still, a Scorch wouldn't be enough to remove any of their cards. At this point in time, it would remove, I assume, all of ours? So that'd be horrendous? So I think, if we play this, it's not going to make much of a difference. Play this suddenly becomes the card that will get Scorched out of existence, so trying to find a way to squeeze it in, but still seems like it's going to be very unlikely for it to fit, and Letho is also a hero, so is also unaffected. So if we play this Trebuchet here, it will be 12 strength, because it is getting doubled, so we will have a lead, but our opponent has a bunch of cards to spare. So I think what we do here is actually, and this is still an extremely low probability of success, but we know that if we continue playing this round, we are going to lose, and we are not going to draw any additional cards for round 3. This is a guaranteed loss if we keep on playing here, so I think we pass. And then we will hope that in the next round, our opponent will go first, so we'll delete whatever card they play with Scorch, assuming it's a good one, or one that is affected by it at least, and it is. Yes, now we delete this, and then next time round we'll play our Trebuchet, and we hope that that has enough power to potentially outperform 2 of our opponent's cards, because it is still 2 cards to 1 here. Does have enough strength to outdo this guy, but it depends what this last card is on our opponent's side. If it's, say, Clear Weather, then we might have eked out a victory. Yeah, but it matters what this is. It's a double strength. Oh man, did we just draw? Nilfgaard wins the tie, though! No! Oh, man. And that means defeat. Oh. Well played there, buddy, but hold on just a second.
What is it?
We gotta replay. You have a strong deck. I will give you that. Several heroes.
Wouldn't mind a few rounds of cards.
Several spies. Which are hit or miss, potentially. One of them was a 7 strength spy, which is definitely, not always a good thing. Let's see how this one plays out. Because we invested a lot in the first round, maybe more than we really had to, but it was hard to predict exactly how far we needed to go, and it was such that we had so many siege units that we didn't have much option. We wanted to play all of our siege units in the same round, and then pretty much had to split them. So Scorch can be great. The problem is, like we saw in the previous round, it's very situational, especially when our opponent has a bunch of heroes that are, I assume, immune to it. But, other than that, what do we have here? We have a few siege cards, yes. We do have the Siege Expert to boost them. Are there enough for that to be worthwhile? He's 1 strength himself, boosts the other units by 1 apiece, so that means he's effectively a 3 strength unit. If we assume that we're going to play our leader ability the same turn that we play this guy, then he is functionally a 6 strength unit, which is better than most of these people here, so probably is still worth keeping. Then that means that the weakest people are probably Clear Weather, Decoy, unless we feel like we have someone we'd like to swap out. We could potentially steal one of our opponent's spies with Decoy, because we know that our opponent has several of those. So it's likely that would happen at some point. But is that something we want to be relying on, or would we rather just draw our own card? I feel like Clear Weather is a pretty safe bet to exchange. Yeah, and getting more siege units again means that we can load up more in our siege round, and that will be the one in which we're going hardest, most likely to win. If we don't win the siege round, then we're in real trouble. But as for what the other round is that we try to win, we could still use a Commander's Horn, in which case, what are we doubling? We're probably doubling, at this rate, the melee row, for what would normally be 9 strength doubling into 18, means unless we can draw another Blue Stripes Commando, and we've had some luck, or maybe not so much luck, depending on how you look at it, with trying to draw a second of these guys, or replace them with something other than a Blue Stripes Commando. So what happens this time, we actually drew into the Medic, which is another siege unit, but it is also a unit that can bring people back from the graveyard, which is awesome with Decoy. So this is an interesting question here. Would we rather use the Decoy on the Medic, or would we rather use it on this spy that our opponent just played. That's a tough one. This is a better spy than the one that we saw them play previously. That one had 7 strength, whereas 4 strength is a lot better. Remember that you want your spies to have low strength because you're playing on the opposing side. I think we go for the win on this one. I think we try to run with the melee and I guess also range. And give this a shot. Let's see how this plays out here. We might play Scorch depending on what card our opponent plays next. Yes, we will definitely play Scorch here. We could get greedy. In fact, it's tempting. Tempting to get greedy and say, well, what if they play another 10 strength unit? Because they do have some of those. Yeah, I think we actually wait it out then. Let's play 5 strength here, because that's not going to change up the equation at all. If they play another 10 strength unit, then things just get better. That is a card that starts at 5 strength, but it has type bond, so if they play another card of the same type, they'll both double to 10 strength, in which case we would delete 3 cards. So, also very tempting, but means that we need to do something in the meantime while we wait for them to maybe potentially play that. So I think we maybe do opt to use the decoy on the spy here in order to use this, or like basically pass a turn. Probably would have preferred to use it on the medic, but it's close, so let's do it here. What does our opponent do? We want them to play another one of these guys. They do not. What is that? Oh, that's their leader ability. Which, again, allows them to see our hand, which is not totally clear what exactly that does, but sure. We could even play the spy on their side this time around. They would take a larger lead, which is not necessarily something we want them to do right now, because they do already have the lead, but remember that we're about to delete at least this card, if not more. But I think that's still okay. We will still have at least 1 strength lead after doing so. They play a decoy. Oh, and they steal their own spy back. Look at that. Passing the spy back and forth. So that's an odd one. We did also pick up another 5 strength unit with that spy that we just played, so I think that is worthwhile here. It's another way of making it so they don't have another 10 strength unit ourselves. But we really want our opponent to play another type bond. I don't think we have any way to prevent ourselves from having a 10 strength unit here without going into our siege units, which we want to save for the next round. But I think that means that we do need to Scorch here. And it's still good, don't get me wrong. We're still getting rid of their 10 strength card. It's just that I saw the potential of potentially being able to get rid of 3 10 strength cards, which would have been basically an automatic win, right? But we'll settle for this. Maybe we're just getting a little greedy here. Just watch our opponent play that next card right now. Oh, they use Scorch now. Uh-oh. And removes almost everything. So that was an interesting play. Didn't really see that one coming. They do technically have a 2 strength lead at the moment. So how do we counter this then? Do we play the medic and bring someone back from the dead? Do we use some of our other siege units? That was, yeah, a strange one. I guess it was, yeah, a good move. So yeah, I guess we, is this overkill though? I think it might be. I mean, we still both have so many cards remaining that this round could go on a while longer, so part of my reason for potentially playing the medic would be to say that, well, this is a strong card, we get 5 strength out of it, and we also get to play another card from our graveyard. We get 10 strength total, then maybe our opponent would pass, but they have so many cards to spare that they could very well decide, no, we're just going to keep on playing. I think we do still do it, though. When we bring back, it shouldn't matter too much, because we're going to be doubling the siege row. We do have a commander's horn, so yes, whichever one of these we pick will probably double their row as well at some point, but does not much matter here. So I guess maybe we go melee on the assumption that they're not going to want to nerf the melee row when they have a melee card themselves. But now they proceed to play a ranged medic, and it's the 10. No. We used the Scorch to get rid of this guy. Now you just bring him back? How dare you? Okay, so they do have a slight lead here. However, let's use Commander's Horn on the melee row. That allows us to take a lead. And what do? How do they react? They eke out just enough strength to take the lead here. And we can also just barely leapfrog them by playing a single siege expert, but we want to be mindful of how we want to make sure we have enough cards remaining to still win in round 2 or 3. If we don't win this one, then we are in big trouble. We're playing most of our cards here. Fighting Frost nerfs melee, so it nerfs us equally. However, they do still have to lead. Or, well, nerfs us equally, I should say. Brings us both down to 2 strength, however, we had 10, whereas they had, I think, 5, so yeah, that means that's affecting us a lot more than it's affecting them. Yeah, I mean, we want to win this round, need to go harder still, which is concerning, because that means, this is not enough, right? This will be 3 strength total, which will bring us to 12, which is just shy. Or could opt to use our leader card here, double the siege row, and then that would bring us up to what, 14? Or no, give us an additional 7, so 16. So I mean, that would be a lead, yes. I don't feel great about using our leader ability when we don't have every single siege card in that row, but if we play every single siege card, then we're not going to have any remaining, and then how do we win round 2 or 3? So I think what we do is I think we play this, we try to bait our opponent into playing one more card, and if they do, then we use our leader ability, and they might pass here. No, they double. Uh-oh. If we double here, what does this now equate to? We have, what, 11 strength in here, so we gain another 11, bringing us to 24. So we'd be tied. So I don't love it, because it means we would have to play another card still to take a lead. So I think that maybe we do this. I think we play one of the lesser of the 2 siege units. We will still be in second here. By second, I mean last. Encouraging our opponent to play more. If we really want to do that? I'm not sure in hindsight that we really wanted to do that. Now we use our leader ability. Take the lead. Our opponent probably passes. They do. Then we pass. We will draw another card, meaning we have 3 cards. For the next round, we really hope this is a good card that we draw here. Kind of crucial. We get a NERF for the row in which we are playing units. Lovely. So, it could not be worse in this instance, right? This is the siege row, is it not? Yeah, siege row NERF. So reduce these guys to both 1s. So the question is, do we deliberately just play this? And yeah, tell you what, I think this is what we do. We play this. We hope that our opponent plays a good card here. We let them win this round. This is just have them throw away a good unit. Yeah. We do this. Now we pass. Let them win this. Now we have 14 strength across 2 cards. They only have 1 card remaining. Are they gonna somehow be able to have that much? Oh, that much strength. They could if they have a spy and then draw some more cards out of it. Didn't see that one coming. Now it's 2 cards to 2 cards. No leader abilities. They just have 3 strength on that one. That's a good sign because we can, of course, out-damage it here. We do have our best card still remaining. Even if you scorch this, we could still win. And you did scorch it, but this is all it takes. Ooh, that was a close one. Was not sure if we were going to be able to pull that one out. And ultimately, yes, did mean we had to take the, what was it, round 2 loss? And our opponent snuck in a spy, which I did not expect to happen, but somehow we still pulled out the victory. So that guy has a good deck. Make no mistake. We got a Rotten Mangonel. Looks like that was a Nilfgaardian card. Let's check it out. Rotten Mangonel, this one. Only 3 strength for a siege weapon. Wow. Most siege weapons, it seems like, have typically been like 6 or higher strength. Is this really that small of a building? Or is it just that we want to go through this one? We want to go through this one.
I'll smash your face.
Yeah, maybe, but I kind of just want to see what else is in here. Oh, yeah, you know, like, a place where they're cremating bodies and whatnot. Lovely. That's also a tree branch that is going through the wall. So, never mind that. Leathers and whatnot. Which are decent for resale value. Anything else in here? I don't think so. But yeah, good to beat that guy at Gwent, eventually. And we did pick up some decent crafting materials from him as well. Okay, so now, let's check our map. And double check as to where we ought to head next. Yeah, so like there are certainly things out here, but I think I would like to head back into Novigrad proper before we, I mean, like this is probably the end of the world, right? Yeah, can't go any higher up than this. So, yeah, before we explore any of this stuff, wow, these are remote over here. I think we want to go back in because there are certainly parts of the city that we just haven't explored at all. Not to mention, what is this? Find a way into the house. Right. I mean, ideally we would find a way there. Maybe I'm blind. That could definitely be the case. Part of me fears tempting your patience further by trying to go there again. But could give it a shot. Just something tells me you will never forgive me if I don't see it again, or if I don't find where we're supposed to go in. So I feel like maybe it is best to put that on hold for just a little while longer. And I mean, there are definitely other places that we have yet to explore in the city. Oxenford Gate. We've not yet seen this. I'm assuming that is supposed to mean that, yeah, like this side over here is Oxenford, as we were thinking. You know, this area over here, I was assuming it was probably this set of buildings here was Oxenford. But this general area is maybe the greater Oxenford area of sorts. Something like that. This is, therefore, I believe, an area in the city that we will not have yet seen.
Life.
What are you guys up to? Can we go in here? I think so. Own shark? Huh? We on Shark Tank?
Greetings. What have you got to pull, and how much do you need?
What makes you think I need a loan?
Tain't a man that don't from time to time. And you don't look nor smell flush with coin.
Just so happens I'm doing fine at the moment.
Then maybe you'd like a look at what the less fortunate have forfeited.
Hmm? What? You can also play as a Gwent. Everyone wants to play Gwent today. But yeah,
Show me what you have in stock.
Then? Huh? A quest book? Change your life? A handbook? It does have the exclamation point, which, like I was saying, does suggest that this is tied to a quest, and this is probably best for us to wait, pick up for that reason. Again, for fear of skipping part of a quest, so let's pass on that for the time being. Cross as quite the experienced loan shark, I mean, I guess.
Been a loan shark long?
Aye, since I was just a little tyke.
So you helped your dad, took it over when he died?
Nah, my own father left me here in pawn and never did redeem me.
Okay. Or we could challenge you to Gwent as well, I suppose. Sure.
What would you say to a few rounds of Gwent?
He says nothing, apparently. And yeah, I think the cards that we got from the previous round of Gwent were not that great, so I don't really think it changes much. We are still Northern Realms first and foremost. This is a monster enemy, actually. What did we get this time? Got Impenetrable Fog, which is the range road nerf. 2 spies, a little bit of range for ourselves, and lots of siege and our hero. This seems pretty strong. We have our fair share of siege to double with our leader ability. That's good to see. Roach is always strong. A couple of spies allows us to mix things up a little bit. I feel like we probably don't want to have a range unit while we're holding on to impenetrable fog, so I think we either want to get rid of this or get rid of this. This guy is 6 strength, which is a little bit above average, so maybe we do swap out the impenetrable fog. This guy does boost other siege units. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3. It's probably good enough. They're only 5 strength. Is it worth trying to re-roll? I mean, that's like basically average. So if we're feeling optimistic, like we might get something good from a re-roll, then a redraw, then maybe we do try it. And we got what? Oh, the melee nerf. That's actually pretty good, come to think of it. What that allows us to do is play both our spies, who are both in the melee row, nerf them, and then play our hero, who is in the melee row, but because he's a hero, does not get nerfed. So, yeah, I like that prospect quite a bit, I think. Of course, it means we'll get to draw a bunch of extra cards from the spies. We got, what, a decoy? What was the other one we picked up? Was it I think it was one of these siege weapons here. It's not bad. They stole our spy, so that was not cool. Fortunately, that was the worst of our 2 spies. This one is slightly better, but we will continue to play more. Got another siege expert, and I believe we got clear skies. Now you play, said spy. We could proceed to re-steal our own spy, which we didn't necessarily have something we were planning on using this decoy for, because usually it would be the medic, and we don't have the medic in our hand right now. So, yeah, I guess let's do it. So we'll continue to pass them back and forth. See how our opponent reacts now. They pass. Interesting. That is a very early pass. And so I think what we do here is, what we can do is we can play some games here. We can play another spy, and it will of course boost them again, but then we'll throw in the melee nerf, which maybe is a little bit overkill, but I think we do it because it gives us a couple of extra cards, and then, ooh, so we don't really want this? Well, this is probably just a dead card to draw. The other one that we got was, what, Siegfried for 5, so that's something. Then we nerf melee, and then we'll play probably Death Mold in the range row to be our trump card. Or, well, hold on. That's still 2 cards to beat them. Whereas, would only take 1 if we were to use Roach. Maybe that is... Roach is good. So part of me feels like it's nice to hold on to him, even if he is still, saves us a card. Which one is preferable in that case? Maybe we do play Roach. I think Roach is basically what I'm getting as, although Roach is just playing 1 card compared to otherwise having to play 2 to win this round, I think Roach, because he's a hero and is 10 strength, he's not the same as other cards. He's a fair bit stronger. Oh, they randomly get to keep 1 card. I forgot that's a monster thing. Okay, so they keep one of the spies out there, and we drew an extra card because we won the round, and what did we draw? Was it Commander's Horn? I don't actually know. And apparently we are going first here because we did win. So I think we just go all out on... Was it another Siege Expert? Maybe we just go out all out on Siege here because we have a whole lot of that right now. So yeah, let's start small. That way if our opponent has a Scorch, they can't play it right now. Though I suppose they probably wouldn't play a Scorch if they knew that they would just end up picking out their own units. Come to think of it, Scorch would be really nice right now to say remove every single unit on our opponent's side. So what I'm thinking is maybe it is actually best to play a card that would prompt them to play that Scorch and get rid of it early, so that they don't like use it on this guy here, which would be the worst case scenario. That's our strongest, and will be our strongest unit. So yeah, I think let's actually play one of these guys here. Try to bait out the Scorch. You do have it. Not playing it yet, however. More of those that bring everyone of that kind. You have a lot of, what are these? Vampires, basically? Yeah, pick your vampire. Letters, Ekimaras, Arcanes, Bruxa, Catechans. Then you have a whole bunch of Raucus, or Rockeye, and the leftover Spy from last round. So, I'm not sure. That is a lot of strength, but I think once you consider that these guys have a little bit of higher base power, then we're going to end up doubling them. And these siege experts will boost everyone else in this row. We might still be okay. Let's give this a shot. Not going to change too much, basically. It's alarming, but I'm hoping that we'll be okay. What does this do? Double the strength of... Uh-oh. We might be in trouble. I mean, we could do some math, figure out if we can actually mathematically beat them or not. But, what's the fun in that? Let's do it. All in. They could, of course, continue to play even more cards. You can squeeze more cards in the melee row? What? Oh, hold on. Also, by the way, we can nerf the melee row. There's that. So, probably gonna do that at some point. Matter of when, really. Ideally, if we could get our opponent to pass, and then immediately after just go, oh, by the way, here's our ace up our sleeve. I think that's the best way to go. Yeah, let's play all of our siege stuff. If our opponent has a siege card, or siege nerf, then we'll use Clear Skies, and then we'll throw in the melee nerf. I think that's the plan. Now we have to bring out some of the bigger stuffs. That is also siege. Okay, so we won't end up nerfing that, but I think that's still okay. It's not as good as cards we're playing here. That's another melee, so that's probably fine. And this is the big one. So we will double this, and it will bring us slightly shy of their current amount. So I think we do that now. Brings us to 94 versus 105. We will continue to play Siege. What are these Siege monsters? I do wonder. Was what, an Ice Troll or something? Ice Giant. Earth Elemental. And a Rocket's Behemoth? Okay. Seems a little odd, the whole concept of having a Siege monster. But I suppose. Okay, so now it gets tricky because ideally we would like to nerf the melee row soon. It's just the problem is, you know, if they have a Clear Skies and they're going to remove that almost immediately. We hope they don't, of course. So let's play a little bit of a card to pass the time. There's the Clear Skies, so that is huge. So we got them to get rid of that. So now, I mean, again, they have 2 cards remaining, so they might still have 1 remaining. It's unlikely. We could opt to use Clear Skies just for the sake of... I'll tell you what, we could go... Yeah, I think what we do is we nerf Siege, and you're going to say, why on earth would you do that, Lids? It's just to pass the time. We do this, and then we proceed to Clear Skies immediately thereafter. So that's a way of basically taking 2 turns to do nothing, just to see if our opponent passes or wastes their remaining cards. That is a good card there. But I think what we do is... We could double. Again, we're looking to pass his turn 1 more time. So that way our opponent plays their 1 remaining card, or they just opt to pass. That way we know that they aren't going to get rid of the nerf that we're going to put on the melee row. So we could do either double range or Clear Skies to remove the Siege nerf right now. We'll double range for now. What does our opponent do here? They have another hero. That is unfortunate. Now they don't have any cards remaining, so what we do is crucially, first we need to clear skies to get rid of the siege nerf. That will make our opponents a little more powerful, but will make us a lot more powerful. We do this, and we're going to have to see how exactly the numbers line up here, because it's going to be really close. So let's play Siegfried preemptively. I mean, he's only going to get nerfed down to 1, yes. It's not going to make a huge difference. The big thing is, this here, will we beat them when we nerf the melee row, or will we not? And we absolutely will. There you have it. It was, yeah, a strong deck for sure. Just so happened that because you played everything in the melee row and we happened to have a melee nerf card, we were able to counter it pretty effectively. But what did you give us? What do we get? Ceruvio. I recognize that name from Witcher 1. Let's check it out. So, that is definitely Scoia'tael. I think she might even be a hero. No, very much not the case. In fact, she is extremely weak. 2 strength unit in the range row. She's horrendous. No other abilities. It's terrible. Tell me we can't loot that chest? I don't believe it. Kind of strange. Yeah, this room has its own music to it. And my controller did vibrate when I walked up to that door there, as if there was some special significance to it. I don't know if I trust you. You did sell a book that was some kind of quest book, so maybe that had something to do with it, but also, like, can we loot that? Really? All that effort for a mug? Fine. Be that way. Okay, so let's head out. Not gonna lie, I thought that guy was us for a second. I was like, are you? Let's win. So, let's take a look at our map, because again, we are in a bit of a different area in the city. There's another shopkeeper over here. So we've not been here at all yet. We've been pretty much exclusively we've done a lot in the southern area here. We've basically explored all this stuff. Done a little bit in the central area up here. And, not much beyond that, though. I don't think we've gone... Maybe we've ever so briefly gone all the way up north here, along the harbor. But we haven't gone to the interior of the city here at all. And like I said, we are only just dipping our toe in this eastern part of the city here. We definitely have not been all the way up to this northern part over here. So, I suppose... trying to think of what is the most logical way for us to make our way through the city so that we can keep track of where we have and haven't gone, like that. And so, for that reason, I'm thinking maybe we stick to this southern area here along the river. Southern of this island, at least. Because otherwise, I think, yeah, we're gonna lose track pretty quickly. Like, we could instead go higher up north, but then we'll say, like, okay, yeah, but where do you draw the line? Yeah, we did some of the eastern part of the city, but where exactly did we stop? So I think the easiest way to do that is to say that we basically just did the first line of buildings here. So let's go... Hold on, we should probably place a marker in that case. Say, like, I don't know, bearish? Just to give us a general sense as to what direction we're trying to go in. The answer is this way. And have we seen this notice yet? I'm not sure we have. Rosemary and Thyme. Hottest spot in Novigrad. Yeah, we've definitely seen reference to that. Scarborough Fair and whatnot. What is this? This is a little bit away from where we had set our marker, but it does seem like there is a merchant here.
Welcome. What can I get the honourable gentleman? New Poulaines, perchance? I've not got a true pair, but they'll be the same size.
What? Or Gwent? Man, everyone
Fine.
wants to play as a Gwent.
Show me what you got.
So what don't I got? Something for everyone. Seek and you shall find. Cheap too.
Yeah, what are you actually trying to sell us? Saddlebags that are bad. Junk. More junk. And more junk. Yeah, no thanks. This might have been the part of town that they were saying is technically the, well, the worst off. And that would make sense if, you know, shopkeepers are Exclusively selling us junk?